Hello, welcome back to another Monday morning NickPick. Spider-Man Homecoming. For those that haven't seen my non-spoiler review and haven't seen the movie, you shouldn't be watching this video. Not yet. See the movie first and then watch this video, because it will be plenty of spoilers discussing here. I gave the movie an 8.5. Perhaps that's a harsher score than I should have, but this movie deserves a second viewing for sure. And then perhaps my view of the movie will change over time, as in many movies. It might go up, it might stay the same, but I enjoyed the movie a lot. My favorite Spider-Man movie before this movie was Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock. I thought that was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that movie, and I have seen that movie multiple times. It's the only Spider-Man movie that I have seen more than twice or 3 times. The rest of the movies I saw once, and that was it. Spider-Man 1 I did see twice, but the rest of the other Spider-Man movie I saw once and didn't care to see it again. Okay, so for this movie, there is not a heck of a lot to nitpick and complain about the movie. But since this video is nitpicking, I will point out some of the weak area as I go through my review that gave the movie a low score. That gave the movie a lower score than a 10. First off, the casting, I'm not all that familiar with Tom Holland as far as his acting chops. The one movie that I saw the younger Tom Holland that I enjoy very much is that disaster movie in Thailand with I believe Naomi Watts. It's the one where the big typhoon flooded and destroyed the seaside resort and killed a lot of people, and it's a true story that they made up. They altered a true story for the movie, but he played the older brothers of 3 siblings. But anyhow, I don't remember the name of the movie, but that's the only movie that I saw the young Tom Holland, and I thought he did a fantastic job in that. So when he was cast as Spider-Man, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't love or hate the choice. I'm like, this kid can do it. I had no idea how old he was. He's one of those actors that actually appear younger than his age. I didn't know that when this movie was shot, he was 20 years old. He's 21 right now, but he definitely appeared, he came across believable as a 15-year-old. A lot have been said about how this is, a coming of age high school movie that have the same kind of vibe as typical John Hughes movie. But those that grew up in the 80s, okay, you are no doubt a fan of movies like 16 Candles, Breakfast Clubs, Ferris Bueller Day Off. To be in high school in the 80s and to have those movies is awesome. Okay, I can't say now about how much I enjoy watching those movies in the 80s as I was in high school. Need to get some gas. Be right back. I'm back. This movie certainly did a decent job as far as give that vibe of a coming of age movie. If I have any nitpicking to do with the cast, I just felt that I just didn't feel the chemistry between Liz and Peter Parker. I felt the movie took some bold risk. When you have this kind of movie, high school, coming of age, you would think that they would throw in the typical jock bully that you expect. You would expect that Liz character to have a jock that trying to vie for her attention and would be the one that pick on Peter Parker. But that didn't happen. So that was a bold choice by the writers and the director to not go that route and pick someone else to be pick another nerd, a rich nerd, to be somebody that pick on Peter Parker, and that was okay. That dynamic between that character and Peter Parker was okay. I just didn't buy into Liz and Peter Parker. I don't know. I don't think it's the actress to blame. It's more about what's written for her. So if I had to I'd say it's probably the writer's fault for not write a better character. Now, as far as the other girl, Michelle, her character works sometime and not sometime for me. Okay, I can tell you, for the most part, her appearance in the movie was good, and she has a lot of good one-liners, but some of there's at least one scenes that I thought didn't work for me, as far as nitpicking. The detention room scene where Peter Parker was in detention, and she happened to be in there because she just liked to be in there to draw. It made no sense. It would have been better off for her to have a conversation, to do some doodling, whatever. That was probably my least favorite scenes of that character. It made little sense for me for her to just pop up in detention. So. But now we talk about the villain. I have complained in so many movie review about the villain. The villain often has weak motive, often have very little screen time, and it's just not well written in many Marvel movies, and many people have disagreed with me on that point in just about every movie, because I complained about that in every Marvel movies. That being said, this movie is the best Marvel movie as far as the villain. Okay, if you tell me a year ago that Michael Keaton is going to play the Vulture, I would have been like, oof, that's a weak villain. The Vulture is not a lister, nor is the Shocker, right? But wow, I mean, I am so thrilled. For those who are familiar with the situation with Michael Keaton, he was supposedly, signed up to play the Vulture, and then I think at one point he backed out, and then negotiation took place and he came back. Perhaps, who knows, this is just speculation on my part, but perhaps, being somebody like Michael Keaton with a lot of acting chop, and just coming off from an Oscar-winning role, he wanted more, and perhaps the writer maybe wrote more to beef up his character, because I like it a lot. I absolutely like everything about the Vulture. Michael Keaton was frightening, menacing, believable. Okay, that's what is the key. The man have a mission, and Peter Parker is not going to stand in his way. One of the best scenes in the movie is, of course, when Peter Parker went to Liz's house and saw that and stumbled across Michael Keaton, and the face, that the best acting on Tom Holland is in that entire scene in the house, because it was very believable how uncomfortable and how freaked out he was being in the house facing the Vulture. And it was even better on how Michael Keaton recognized the voice, okay, that this kid is Spider-Man. That entire sequence get an A+ from me. But before I just skip over something that I thought was another weak point of the movie, as far as nitpicking. That entire rescue scenes in the Washington or Lincoln Memorial thing, that didn't really, well, it works. It's a great scene, a lot of good, like I said, it's a good action scene, but I did not like the fact that the helicopter show up with gun blazing and trying to, stop Spider-Man or even point at Spider-Man. It's already established at this point that Spider-Man is a good guy, part of the Avenger, okay? So, or at least, he has worked with the Avenger. So why the heck was gun pointing out and telling him to stop and they're gonna shoot? That makes no sense to me, okay? That makes absolutely zero sense to me, that guns are drawn and people are ready, or security was ready to take down Spider-Man. No, that did not work. Another area of nitpicking is the extra stuff they put in the suits. I didn't feel that was necessary at all. In fact, I did not like the scenes where Spider-Man was going to take down the bad guy when they were trying to take over the truck, and he was fumbling with all the different web thing. I thought that was overplay. I didn't care for the excessive repeated thing with the different thing with the web, different kind of web shooting. That didn't work for me. Okay, maybe other people thought that was good, but for me, I didn't like that. I thought they did way too much with the Spidey suit, with the tracking thing. If there was anything that I complain about, the Spider-Man suit, that's it. I didn't think that they need to make it so high-tech. As far as the Shocker is a C-lister. And, I kind of like the idea that they kept that character in, even though, they kill off one guy as a Shocker and replace him with another Shocker. That's fine. If the Shocker's going to be around, he's going to be perhaps part of the Sinister Six, as the movie hinted. As in many Marvel movies, I have always complained, and you heard me say this, that I hate it that they do a half-ass story with the villain, and then they conveniently kill the villain off at the end. Weak, okay? There's no need to do that. There's no need to just kill off the villain. You don't have to do that, and I'm glad that this movie ended that way. And perhaps one of my favorite scenes in the movie that gave me goosebumps. I got goosebumps when I saw this scene is when the building came down on Spider-Man. Right away, I don't know how or why, I had that spider sense that they are paying homage to my favorite book, Spider-Man 33. And my God, that scene gave me chills and goosebumps because I love that scene. That scene is pure comic book awesomeness for Spider-Man fan. When he was trapped under the concrete, desperate, crying for help, and then realized that there's nobody else here to help him, and he has to draw out his will to get himself out of this. It's just perfect. One of the most perfectly done Spider-Man scenes in any movies. Okay, so kudos to the director. Wow, love it. The third act of this movie did not disappoint. If anything, it's even better. Okay, it elevates the movie. So I was not disappointed at all. That should be it. I can't think of anything else to yap about as far as my Monday morning nitpick with this movie. Thanks for watching. Until the next movie.